going on, Jerome's? So the announcement that J.J. McCarthy needs meniscus surgery obviously sucks ass. Like if they gave out gold medals for sucking ass, like the J.J. McCarthy meniscus tear surgery announcement would be Michael friggin' Phelps. Right? So it sucks, man. But sort of is what it is. And, going through like the 12 stages of grief, anger, bargaining, blah, 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 acceptance. I don't know. We're on the spectrum somewhere. Actually, you could say that about a lot of things. Anyway, but there's a lot of questions, so we put together basically like a FAQ of a lot of questions that people have, and we're trying to answer the best that we can. Now, obviously, not a medical expert, but just relaying what we know about meniscus. I have had meniscus surgery. I had the repair, not the full replacement. Potentially probably going to need full replacement as I get older, but, but overall, does this suck? Yes. Is this going to impact his career writ large? No. I think JJ will be perfectly fine. And hell, if it's just a repair or a trim, it could be back sooner than you think. Anyway, so let's get this thing on. Question number 1. Does anything in 2024 change? Not particularly. So, the plan was to have Sling and Sam Darnold out there as the quarterback to begin the season. Now, it does remove, in all likelihood, the specter of J.J. McCarthy hanging out behind Sam Darnold, keeping that pressure on. But also, I kind of feel like Sam Darnold doesn't have the mental makeup to handle that pressure. You know what I mean? Right. But if it is just a trim, McCarthy, the timeline is 4 to 6 weeks. He could be back after the bye, or potentially even sooner than that. But if it's full replacement, he's likely going to be missing the full season. So, I mean, it's a massive opportunity for Sam Darnold to do something. And basically, I mean, it's basically what O'Connell was looking to do anyway. The notion of having McCarthy have a redshirt year, that was certainly tangible. That certainly was potentially in the cards. That's why they paid Sam Darnold $10 million to be the bridge quarterback for rookie quarterback TBD. So does it necessarily change any of the plan? Not really. Nah. Next up, number 2. Will this impact JJ's career? No. All right. So again, knocking down all the wood. Meniscus, generally, repair is easy, going to be good to go. Rehab is pretty straightforward. And there are numerous quarterbacks who have had the meniscus repair and the replacement, and has an impact of their form. Also, with J.J. McCarthy being young, recovering from surgery is going to be a lot easier, versus if he was 36, 37 years of age. And also, not non-ligament, non-structural, not anything like that. So should be good to go. Next up, number 3, does the new turf suck? All right, so a lot of people are associating, the Vikings got new turf. They have the monofilament turf, and that replaced the slit film field, which U.S. Bank Stadium had for a number of years. Now, Jefferson's hamstring was blamed on the slit film because you remember you saw when he cut, a piece of the turf came up. But is this on the new turf? No, not necessarily. And it is the same turf that they have on the practice fields at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. So it's not like the players aren't used to it. So I know that O'Connell has said that the injury occurred on Saturday. This seems more like something that was a continual wear injury versus just something that happened. But who really knows? Next up, number 4. Going into this, is this a good thing? So for me, just personally, when I had my meniscus done, it wasn't just a lightning strike thing. It was something that built up over time and had to get done sooner rather than later. Now, could this have been a lingering issue for him at Michigan? It's possible. I mean, obviously there's no injury reports in college football as of now. I mean, I feel like there will be soon because of gambling. That's the only reason why the NFL has injury reports, by the way. But anyways, could this have been something where it was going to cause him problems in the future if he didn't get it taken care of? Yeah, potentially could be, because the menisci things are something where you get this occasional pain, you ice it, you try to ignore it, you try to push through it. I mean, these guys, professional athletes, that's what they do. But I mean, is this something that flew under the radar? Well, you would have needed an MRI to check things out, and they don't do that at the combine or medical testing during draft process. So potentially, right? And like we said, this potentially could have been something that would have lingered. So especially if he does get the full-on replacement, which would take him out for the season, but that would stink. But like we said, the plan potentially could have been to redshirt him for this year, and then that just turns into a medical redshirt or something like that. Next up, number 5, could JJ return this season? Yes. So as we laid out, if it's just a trim. So they go in, basically sew it up, give a little trim. That's what I had. You're out 4 to 6 weeks. Now, even right after surgery, like you get range of motion back pretty quickly. And obviously, I wasn't a professional athlete, but I was 19 years old. But yeah, the timeline they put on it was 4 to 6 weeks, and a couple weeks still left in preseason, as well as a gap week between the end of preseason, start of the regular season. So it is conceivable that McCarthy, if it is just the trim, could be back earlier in the season and potentially could be 100% good to go by the bye week. And then basically nothing really changes for the 2024 plan, where he and Darnold would compete. And Darnold, if he isn't getting it done and they trust JJ getting back into form in practice, could get interesting, right? But like I said, if it's a full-on replacement, he would likely miss the full regular season. Number 6, will this slow his progression? I mean, to a degree, sure. I mean, not being on the practice field obviously changes things. Plus, it really stinks because it would have been great to have him get some joint practice work and the 2 remaining preseason games. He would have been featured a lot. But those mental reps in the meeting rooms and him working his ass off and paying attention to everything, like that matters too. And that's the whole thing. Like, physically, like he's got it. Like physically, he has it. Between the ears, he has that too. But that's where the most growth needs to happen. And the leap from the college to the NFL. It's not so much the physical stuff. I mean, yes, there's a big leap, but the larger leap is between the ears, right? And all that he can take care of, without being on the practice field or being on the game field. So, what's going to happen? Like if he's out for the season, he is going to be standing on the sideline of practice, talk about practice, as well as every single game next to the quarterback's coach, Josh McCown, Grant Udinski, and also in Kevin O'Connell's ear all the time, asking questions and basically just absorbing knowledge. And that's what he's going to take from the season. And McCarthy does certainly have that mentality. Like he's not going to mope around. He's going to make the best of the situation. Amor fati, the stoic line that he put out in a tweet after the announcement came down. So in a weird way, he's going to turn this negative into a positive, right? No matter what happens. Next up, number 7. Does this change anything in the quarterback room? Well, I think now, like Mullins stays. Like if McCarthy was fully healthy and they trust him as quarterback too, Mullins potentially could have been trade bait for like a late day 3 selection, another team out there looking for a backup quarterback. But now I think 100% Mullins stays as Darnold's backup. Jaren Hall hasn't really shown a ton, but maybe the Vikings, after 53-man cuts, they go out and add a quarterback 3 either on the roster or the practice squad to potentially develop in place of Jaren Hall, not in addition to him. All right. And potentially until J.J. McCarthy gets back. Next, as I get choked up. Number 8, what does this mean for Darnold? So this is interesting for Darnold. So obviously Darnold has this huge opportunity. He's got weapons galore. He's got great coaching. And if he can't succeed here, he's not going to succeed anywhere, right? And, a mild night practice aside, like he looked good on his drive in preseason. He looked good in training camp last week. And I think that he really can put things together and have a fantastic season. Who says he can't be this year's Baker or, 2022 Geno Smith or Jim Plunkett or Rich Gannon, etc. The examples that we toss out all the time. Who says that he can't succeed with Jefferson, Addison, eventually Hawkinson, Darrisaw watching his ass, Aaron Jones, etc. So, but then it opens things up. So say J.J. McCarthy gets the full-on replacement, which I'm not going to say would actually be preferential, just because with the repair, I mean, it's a trim, potentially a sewing up, but that can be re-injured. Whereas if you completely replace the meniscus, you start from scratch. I don't know. Like, if the plan was to sit him this full year anyway, I don't know. But say McCarthy gets the full meniscus replacement and Darnold starts the full season. What if it's really damn good? What if Sam Darnold plays like a top 8 to 10 quarterback, which he is capable of doing in this situation? Like, what do you do? because McCarthy year 2, should be good to go. But physically, this did put him behind the 8 ball for a season. But like we said, all those mental reps will be good for him. But what do you do with Darnold? Like, do you tag and trade him? Do you tag and play him? They would have the cap space to do that next year. Do you give him a small extension and then have him and McCarthy just completely duke it out in the offseason next year at an actual quarterback competition? I don't know. Frankly, it would be a good problem to have. Like we said, I mean, Sam Darnold playing good this year really takes the sting out of the McCarthy injury and surgery. Lastly, number 9, will JJ be fine? Yes. Yeah. And a bunch of outlets have quoted orthopedic surgeons who specialize in meniscus surgeries and repairs. And JJ McCarthy is going to be fine. He's also mentally tough, so this isn't going to shake him. And like we said, he's going to turn this negative into a positive. And even if he misses all of 2024, he should be good to go timeline-wise, even if it is a full replacement, to hit the ground running in early 2025. So get full off-season work, off-season workouts, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, etc., and should be good to go in that regard. So, obviously it stinks because he looks so damn good in that Raiders game in the second half, man. And also, I mean, time-wise, like imagine like McCarthy's injury happened like the first training camp practice, and say that fans didn't even get to see what McCarthy could do. There'd be a ton of questions, right? But the fact that, I don't know, maybe it's just the tease of being a Vikings fan because we got to see the high highs and then it was just snatched away from us. But again, thankfully, it's just meniscus and it's nothing too serious. And like I said, if it's trim, could be back 4 to 6 weeks. If it's a repair, could be the season. But either way, McCarthy will come back stronger. He's got the mental fortitude and the mental makeup to really get this damn thing going. And yeah, I feel a lot better about things than I did yesterday after the announcement. But anyways, that's it. 9 questions about J.E. McCarthy, his knee, his surgery, etc. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.